Hey everyone, so great to have you stop by. A little over a year ago, I posted a video of my experience with building two rack-mounted servers, the first time I had done so. It wasn't without issue, and some changes have made things quite a bit better. Back then, I started off with a 3U rack choice case and a 4U RackOwl one. I built the systems with used parts, and both pulled more power than I wanted, and made more noise. Today, that is very different after some little and big modifications. My main always-on server was built in the 3U case. It started off pulling about 23 watts at idle, if I could get the drives to spin down. Because I was having issues with that, the idle was actually around 44 watts. I switched out the main board, which was from an HP desktop, running an i7-6700 to one from a Dell Precision 3630 tower. That is running a Xeon E2126 and 32 gigabytes of ECC RAM. I also swapped out the power supply to one from a Dell Precision desktop. And power draw is down around 25 to 30 watts with the drive spinning and roughly 15 watts with them sleeping. I've also swapped out some fans. That has made a huge difference in the noise and my ability to sit next to it. Except when a drive comes online, I don't really notice that it is there. As for storage, I've not expanded any further, leaving it running a 3TB hard drive RAID 1 array, a 1TB SATA SSD RAID 1 array, and a lonely 8TB drive. Most of the files I want quick access to are on the SSDs, so the drives spin down until they are needed. Just underneath it is my expanded backup server. The previous MSI X99A board just wasn't working for my situation. Even with it only being on for 4 or 5 hours a day, pulling 72 watts at idle wasn't efficient enough for me. It is now running a Supermicro X11 SCA motherboard with the C246 chipset and a Xeon E2174G processor. This switch helped out power draw immensely. At idle, it is pulling around 22 watts with all the drives spun down. Storage includes an 8TB RAID 1 array and a single 8TB drive. Replacing one of the front fans and only running that one really cut down on the noise. Power draw with all the drives running at idle is around 35 watts. One of the things that probably helped with the power consumption is the removal of a SAS HBA card used in the initial build. The Supermicro board allows me to run 6 SATA drives, so my SAS drives are not in use right now. For the 4U case, RackOwl recommended their 26-inch universal server rack rails, which I had a hard time finding, and they came in just as I was finishing editing the initial video. I installed them and they work, almost. I have verified that my rack should be the correct size, and I've not run into this issue with any other device, but the rails bow when the case is pushed in, and the way they're designed, the mounting does not allow the case to slide all the way back. It has made pulling it out to work on much easier than before, but getting to the back of the case to put in expansion cards is still a pain. Now, for power draw improvements, I've calculated it to be just about 65% combined. Using values for 24/7 running of my first server and 4 hours a day for the backup server, a full year would have used about 490 kilowatt hours and cost around $88. Instead, with the hardware changes, that drops to 163 kilowatt hours and should cost around $30. Does that make the upgrade seem worth it? If I had to rate my experience before, I would say it was probably a 2 out of 5. Things have been running fairly smoothly since getting the system rebuilt. I've held off on any storage expansion just because drives of all types have gotten even more expensive in the last year. The question is, will I leave well enough alone? For those who have seen my short on a new server case, you already know that something is in the works. The problem is I keep on changing my mind on what I want to do with it. While these two rack-mounted computers do use a mix of server and consumer hardware, the end result has been pretty nice. I've received some comments that I should just buy a used Dell or HP server, and while that could have been a better way to go, this has felt more rewarding. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, or to see how my next adventure goes. That's all for now. Until next time, I hope things are not terrible. Things have been running fairly smoothly